Greetings, fellow citizens. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ratopia, Episode 13, Bread and Combat. First order of business for you in the live stream is to vote on the priority. So here are 7 different options. And number 1 is to improve the security and defenses. So what that would mean would be investing more in barracks, the high-tier defenses, so that our Ratopian knights can defend our castle better. Number 2 would be to create better work districts, essentially separating it out so that they're, you'll have your woodworking and woodwork shops in one district, and then you'll have your smelters and kilns in another, that kind of thing. A third is to increase the amount of Ratopians in the middle class. What that probably means is to either lower taxes or mint more gold coins for them to have the wealth to enter the middle class. We could also provide more goods and services for the lower class, because we're not providing all of their necessities or food needs. We could start to provide goods and services for the middle class. Or we can improve efficiency and aesthetics through, better rope ladder systems or a subterranean ladder system or something like that. So feel free to vote for those things. We also have a quest to provide some bread. So I was planning on setting up a little bread grinder, I suppose, so that we can fulfill this quest here. We don't necessarily need to start the monument base, because the monument base isn't really going to supply us with any real advantage for quite some time. So it's something that we can table for now. Although it is a weird spot, where do I want my kitchen? Maybe I'll put it right here next to the toilets, so that our food can smell delicious. So in order to make bread, I'm going to update the priority, bake, bread, and vote. I'll leave the vote on a little bit longer because it's going to take me a minute to set up the bread. So in order to bake bread, we need a grinder to grind the flour or the wheat into flour, and then we'll then need a bakery. So the first step is a grinder and a bit, and then eventually the bakery itself. And do I even have that researched? Let me check. So here is a lot of the other things that we can provide, like fish or mushrooms, etc. Over here is the bakery, so I didn't. So now we are going to unlock that. Now we do have a lot of artisans in need of joy, rest, and hygiene, and some of them might be our middle class, because as soon as Amris goes to sleep, I can check his necessities. So here are some of the benefits of middle classing. So if you take a look at him, well, where do you even see that? Needs more wealth to maintain the current state. Oh, his wealth is dropping. So you need at least 500 coins in your bank account in order to remain middle class. And if we take a look at his necessities, for instance, or food. Oops, did that wrong. Take a look at his food or necessities, you'll see that the advanced food is really not fulfilled, nor is his basic food. So a lot of the middle class is going to be a little fussier than normal, like their joy is a little negative, etc. It's not going to be a huge deal, but it is one of those situations where unlocking the middle class is sort of a Pandora's box, where then you are going to be required to do a lot of other things, which is fine, provided that you're ready to start really digging your heels in and setting up the infrastructure for all of that stuff. So the bakery is underway. I was thinking of putting it into here just because it's close to the dining tables and it will be a little convenient. But But while I do that, I can also work on improving security and defenses, because that's what was voted on. Let's let Toby in. And letting Toby in will be our first giveaway or raffle for that character this stream. We may need more beds. We've been cranking out beds like crazy, and at some point it might make sense to have some sort of lodging district, maybe below here, one step down, or multiple steps down, where we just like lodge a whole bunch of our rat citizens, because beds require a lot of space, and well, you know, a huge portion of our base is now beds at this point. The Real Brainbug, thank you for the resub, by the way. Also, because exploration doesn't really cost anything, it wouldn't hurt to continue exploring around. 85 of the way into bakery. Another sort of side project that I might want to take on at some point is to put a roof over the majority of our base, because one of the issues we're going to have is, like, every time it rains, we're going to get a little bit of rainwater sort of collecting in places that we probably don't want, and it's going to be easier if we just roof it up, and we could possibly even roof it up to the point where we then funnel it towards our water storage. So if we go to production, here's the bakery. And I don't have enough masonry blocks to even make it. The masonry blocks doesn't have enough stone, so I'm going to need to go underground and collect some stone in order to satisfy that requirement. And I'll leave the... Oh, well, there's some stone right here. I'll leave the current poll up to vote on what to do for when the raffle ends. This is a continuation of the YouTube series, yes. The first stream was about 5 weeks ago, and the second stream was just last week. Vivid Pixel wants to talk to me. Wants me to build barracks. Okay, I can agree to that, because you guys are voting for that right now in the polls, it looks like. Might as well get, you know, make people happy doing the things I was going to do anyway. That just seems like good policy making, I suppose. And we're being attacked tonight. Got it. So in terms of making a new... Well, they want a new barracks, which is surprising, because that's kind of a low-tech thing to construct. I was planning on building a combat academy, because we have the iron for it. But what I can do is I can build barracks to fulfill the quest, and then, like, break it down and do the other thing. You know, getting a combat academy, which I think is honestly just a lot more reasonable. Anarchists? Elitists? No. We can be a little bit more choosy than that. How hurt is my character? Not hurt at all. Perfect. Now, without a bank, we're somewhat limited about the people that we can actually trade with. So I might want to get banking at some point. The other thing is, if we ever do want to expand the middle class, a mint is going to be necessary. And we have so many research points, I might as well just start unlocking things that will become required at some point. Because it gets relatively expensive, as you can see, in terms of research points. Like, getting a pub and a den of joy is, you know, like 10 research points, or a snail track is 7. So spending our points wisely and unlocking it early definitely has its own benefits. Okay, improving security and defenses. That is what one. And the ravel, Jungian. Jungian, let's get you added. So the last one was Tommy, I think. Toby. It looks like, yeah, you're the only one that didn't have a bed, so we fixed that. I'm breaking down one of the bathrooms here to make room for the grinder and the bakery. And then it also looks like we'll be somewhat encouraged to make that barracks, even though I'm just going to build it and break it down and then make a combat academy instead. One thing I wish is that the requirements for those quests could be satisfied with like the improved version of said facility. That would be really nice. So there's the bakery and the grinder. And if you're wondering, oh well, I don't have the stone yet to make the grinder. If you're wondering why I'm making a second grinder, it's because the first grinder, if you set up, like I can set them up to start grinding flour, but the conditions don't really work so well when they're doing multiple things at once. The other thing that would be nice for me to do, just given our resource scarcity, is to make sure that we're getting plenty of stone. So we have this vertical column that we've created to try to cut down on travel time, allowing us to explore more efficiently and gather resources from far-flung spots faster. And I can use it to get some stone. There's a lot of subterranean water. Holy heck. And we're being attacked in just a second here. So with our new, some of our new facilities that we already have built, we should have the ability to defend without me having to do a lot of it manually. I can also tell my defense force to defend the gate down here. So far, no one's been critically wounded. Oh, they destroyed the floor underneath the, that's interesting. So we do have a severely wounded Rhadamant, and they are not anywhere convenient to try to get to. So I'm just setting up, I'll put some skin to the game to try to rescue. But we'll also need the broken block replaced. Oof. That volley hurt. Okay, I want you all to move here. Yeah, if you're ever wondering about the population, it's at the top of the screen. Oh, I guess we should have... Where? Did all my soldiers just get roasted? No. Runa, Fangface, and Guero are just, like, not here? I wish I had an easier way for me to heal myself. We might just have to eat... I don't know what they're doing. This is where... Okay, I'm going to dismiss them, and hopefully they'll start to defend without me... No, they're being weird again. My best guess is that their radius of their workplace is too far from this area, and that I probably at some point need to relocate the defense facilities down here. Because we're at a point now that, like... we're going to have Radissons die, because I'm not able to rescue them. Or I could just, like, YOLO, but I'm probably going to die in the process, yeah. So I'll eat that one. I'll have to, upon loading, what I'll do is I will take a look at the work ranges that squad tent had. I think I moved, what ended up happening was I think I moved this squad tent, and I moved it too far upwards into the top of the castle up here. And therefore, they couldn't be deployed where I wanted them. And it hadn't occurred to me that that would be a ramification. Although I don't see a zoning setting for that. Because what ended up happening there was I issued them movement orders, but only 2 of the 5 defenders that I was relying upon actually committed to those orders. And the others just didn't listen. So I think what I could do is I can hit them with an escort now. I'm going to tell them to follow me now and see if they actually follow me out beyond this wooden door. See who actually shows up. Because I see the attack is coming again, so... Yeah, okay, they're all here this time. Fangface and Runa are like thinking about it. No, they came. So, you know, quite frankly, I'm not really sure what was happening there. Why they were listening but not. Very strange. So I'm going to dismiss them for now, because I'm not going to need them to protect us for a moment. But just keep an eye on that and consider making sure that they actually like listen to orders. That was pretty strange. Now, it is somewhat well known in this game that occasionally the pathfinding kind of breaks down, and your citizens won't be able to like go to their beds, even though their beds are pathable, to be able to rest effectively. You know, those sort of issues. All right, Toby, you need to be renamed too. Bone the Cat, welcome to your first stream. So in terms of squad tents is just what falls under direct control. It's an object that you can only ever build one of, I think. Maybe you can control multiple squads, but I think more the issue was that the squads that I have just were, for whatever reason, ignoring the issued orders, and that ultimately was the problem. Because I took a look at the squads, and there was 3 healthy teammates that just were not in position correctly. So we'll try this again. Hopefully this one will go a little better. What I can do earlier on is to hit them all with an escort order, so that they follow me instead of just attacking on their own. I suppose the one thing I didn't do was to check what I was wearing. I think I have my proper combat clothing on, but I could be mistaken. I'm not sure where my squad mates are. Oh yeah, here they come. Yeah, now we actually have the numbers to defend, whereas before we didn't. So I suspect a significantly different outcome as a result of this squad orders being followed. That seems to be true so far. Because there's a ton of buildings that have like work radius restrictions. They'll only work within a certain radius of the building, but squad tents are not like that. So I was a little surprised that they were ignoring me. So here we go. Guerrero basically took no damage compared to everyone else, but it was pretty effective. We have one severely wounded, Bobby over here, who's our second to last person to join. And then there's like one enemy left. Yeah, there's one little rat over to the east, just beyond the gate. It looks like Lorix is already heading to him, so it's a problem that will sort itself out quickly, I think. But very different outcome in that fight compared to the first one. I think the fight's over already. Yep, it is. Alright, let's update the pride. So we're going to make red and improve armor. I'm not sure that the game has the same, like, make a barracks quest. It's possible that once we complete the bread quest, the make the barracks quest will pop up. Yeah, last stream I did forget the toilet tax, but the toilet tax is like a bit of a meme tax, so it wasn't that I like wanted it. It's just a funny thing to have. So there's an option here where I pay Backroad Runner, or he becomes happy. Wait, Backroad Runner. I'm just gonna pick this one. So he's unhappy as a result of me not essentially him extorting money out of me, I suppose. It's fine. I didn't want to be extorted by my own citizenry. What I should do is I should just find like an area that has tons of rocks and tell my Rhadamants to harvest it themselves. Holy moly, there's even another quest coming my way? When you hit middle class, you get like a lot more quest offers, I suppose. Oh, this is the same one. So it's well, okay, maybe I'll have you guys choose this one, because this is a follow-up question to the original one. Anxiety of the crowd. Residents are complaining about anxiety about the gold coins from the rock last time. So last time there was like a superstition about cursed gold coins, and we chose to keep the coins. And there are citizens that are like worried that the curse is real, I guess. So this is what that's about. So I can carry out a ritual to essentially destroy the gold coins, or give them to Guitar Loan and make people lose 3 happiness, or continue to falsely say that I'm throwing out the gold coins and keep them anyway, and then everyone loses another 5 happiness. So this is sort of like a happiness crisis, I suppose, where everyone already has a -5, and we're gonna go for a -10. I dig it. Silly, superstitious. So one of the things that I could do to offset this loss is to fulfill some of the other requirement quests, like baking bread. So I'll go have Dagonite grind up some flour, and we just hired a new baker. And given those 2 things, we should be able to complete some quests so that we're not just punished for the superstitious nonsense. But some people are becoming disgruntled. Understandably, because we sort of ignored the will. Oh, I think it's Dagonite that became disgruntled. All right, Jungian, new guy. You are now our grinder. No, it was Rylus that became disgruntled. I'm not really sure what happened to Dag then. I think they were trying to probably grind up oil and didn't have the raw resources to do it. So he was saying, oh, I'm out of resources. Did I even keep the gold from last stream? I believe I did. I think that's what people voted on, is that I just keep it. And essentially ignore the superstition. And now it's coming back to haunt me. No plan words intended. I'm also being warned that I don't have enough gold, but I don't think that's really going to be an issue. I've been down in the mines collecting resources, that is. I just need to run around and do some tax collection. It also helps to just run around and offer hope for everyone, so that they don't have as much of a morale complaint. Because of all the recent rainwater, and because we don't have like a roof over our farm, it flooded. So all of those planted wheat over there is, I guess, technically disabled because they're inundated. Although we just ground up our first flour, so I just got science from our first batch of flour that we've ever made. Meaning that bread should be coming soon. And bread is a middle-class food that only the middle class eats. And I just have a quest for it. Hoping that fulfilling the quest will make people a little bit happier. Now, I'm not sure if I still have the build a barracks quest, but I guess I can smelt a little bit more copper and find out if I get a bonus for it or not. Tired of being rained upon, I'm gonna get the slate roof so we can build a roof to protect things from being swamped. Oh, you know what it might have been? Taking a look at my squad tent right now. See how it's swamped? It might have been that the rain during the fight that I lost and had to save scum, the tent got swamped and disabled as a result, which would explain why my squad members were just not listening to me because the tent wasn't working. If I was to guess, that would be my guess. One of the issues with building on the top floor. Can you plant farms underground? Yeah, you can plant farms anywhere you want. The disadvantage of planting underground is most of the water that you have accessible to you is going to be from rain or dew collectors. So if you end up planting underground, you end up in a situation where trying to keep your farms productive without collecting rainwater might be a little difficult. You'll run out of water and that won't be so good. I also didn't have my chainmail on during that fight, which is another reason why I took a lot more damage than normal. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the storms just like cause an influx of rain, which in my case disabled my combat tent, I think. Which is was not helpful. But yeah, our water storage is now pretty full, as you can see. We're no longer in parched drought mode like we were before. And we've made 2 of the 5 bread required. I'm going to head over to... Wow, we have a lot of copper ingots. Heading over to our furnace here. I'm going to make sure that they're making copper as well. Now, I think the game tasked me with making a barracks, right? So I just need a little bit more copper bars in order to do that. The fussy individual that we had, Rylus, is no longer like rebelling. Now the change in our tax code, my currency runs out. And what ends up happening if you end up with no gold is all of the things that are produced, like your Radizans are paid for the work that they contribute to your community. So if you end up in a situation where you don't have money to pay their wages, they kind of just don't work anymore. So it's not a good situation to be in. And yeah, this storm swamped a lot of our base. I could probably make like a water scooper here. The other thing that I could do is just try to dump this water somewhere more convenient and moving it in high volume. I'll have to hold my breath a little bit, but that's a pretty reasonable way to deal with this, I think, given how much water there is. Of course, I am just like delaying the solution, the actual proper solution, for a later time. But oh well, that's a future me problem. No, we found another one. Underforge. I'm going to assume that they are a mining-based community. Good for buying ores and the like. We're 1 bread away. And what I might want to do in the meantime is to adjust the tax law, just because my currency is really running low. So we're going to have a wealth tax that goes up, let's say 25% from 10. It's a big hike. And then a welfare tax, we don't really need to adjust. Bunch of migrants without good personalities or employment. Now we did remove one of the toilets in order to put a grinder here, but it looks like the grinder that we have down below that was grinding up the flours into oil has been supplying bread making just fine. There we go. The quest is done, and the middle class has gained. We're into another fight. The middle class gained 10 happiness, which should offset a lot of the superstition around the coins that we kept. Now this time around, unlike last time, I can wear my chainmail, and that should help with staying alive a lot more, I think. So you can see the wealth tax money pouring in. Given that we're in for another fight, I'll stick the chainmail on ahead of time. Let's see if my... So it doesn't look like I have a quest to build the training camps anymore, so I'm just going to go to a proper academy. We're not going to get the proper academy done in time for the upcoming battle, but at the very least, right after the battle, we can move dead cold from like a little training camp to a proper academy, and that should help a lot with our defenses. The Temple of War is similar to the other combat employment places. It just has a different subset of people that they can train. So there's a druid, which uses jungle magic to slow enemies, a warrior, which has a staff that has knockback and attack power, and a skirmisher, which can dodge enemies. Those specific troops are, I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad, but they're probably not as strong as what you could do in a combat academy, which is why I tend not to build those. Because if you look at the military here with combat academy, you have the longsword rat, which gets a huge health boost, an area attack, and attack damage, and the hammer rat for a huge damage boost, a huge health boost, and stunning enemies, which is better than the bonuses that the jungle temple gives, or Temple of War rather. I hope we can get to the point where I no longer have to scoop myself. And we have a lot of science, so I'm just going to unlock just whatever. I'll get a cemetery just in case we have some losses. Hopefully we won't, but better safe than sorry. And at some point I should consider working towards supplying the middle class with, what they're asking for. So here comes the combat. Just making sure that the tent does not get swamped this time. But we do have a roof over it, so it's less likely to get swamped because the water would then collect in the main lift shaft, which could be annoying for different reasons, but at least won't disable the tent. Alright. This time around, we actually have chainmail and a working tent. And as soon as this battle is over, I will move dead cold over to the better defense employment. Didn't mean to start a fight with that bunny, but whatever. So the railroad allows you to move horizontally quickly, like Minecraft mine carts, that kind of idea. Whereas the lift shaft is vertical. So railroads are really only useful if you have places that you want to travel horizontally quickly. So they're not always useful depending on your designs, whereas the lift shafts are almost always useful because most of the resources that you get are from down below. I'm curious if we have a medic. I think Utigal's no, not a medic. Who is our medic? I want to know if I have to pick this wounded person up myself or not. So Cthulhu works in the pharmacy. Oh no, Atla, I think, is our medic. Yep. Good. I didn't actually have to do it myself. I stood there as insurance, but I was ultimately ornamental, and I like it like that. Thank you for tuning in to Ratopia, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 14th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com also has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Ratizens.